and welcome everyone to today's session as part of the Raising Positive People series. I'm Olivia Edwards, the Positive Parent Coach. Today we're going to be talking about positivity, because I know that's an ongoing theme, but specifically positive praise. So there is so much research that has been done on positive reinforcement and the effects and impacts of that, and specifically positive praise. Now, what I mean by that is how you respond, the language you use to your child when they do something. And positive praise might look like someone saying, "Yay, great job, well done, you did so well with that." And traditionally, we would use those types of phrases to help boost their confidence, their self-belief, and make them feel good about themselves. And that's what we all thought, that's what the research said, so we went along with it. And there was a huge movement in the 90s. So some of you watching this may have experienced that with children, where we just wanted to boost their confidence and self-esteem. So we're going to praise. And we're going to be really specific in the way we praise things. Now, the issues with that, that we now know are, yes, you might slightly give them more confidence in that moment, but only if they already feel slightly confident in that area. If they really don't feel confident in that area, actually what you're going to do is make them feel worse. Now, the reason for this is because our brains are constantly looking for evidence to be right. So if, for example, you've got a child that struggles with maths and they're trying really hard in maths, and you say, "Wow, you're doing so well, you're really getting good at maths," and they don't truly believe that, because they just think they're rubbish because they're slower than everyone else, and they quite often don't know the right answer, and they just find it really hard, their brain is going to say to that, "What? No, I'm not, because I've got all this bank of evidence to suggest that I'm not very good at maths. So I'm dismissing what you said, I don't believe it." So not only did what you say not help them in terms of their confidence, it also impacted negatively on your relationship with them, because they saw you lying to them. It's very black and white, but that's essentially how the brain's going to see it in a really unconscious way. So what ended up happening was these praise was being repeated, and children were still really struggling. And then if children ever did get something right, because there was so much emphasis on the praise, "Wow, look, you got that question right, look how good at maths you are now," or "You were so quick when you ran that 100 meters," or "Look how quickly you did that puzzle." What ended up happening was, for children that weren't confident anyway, they were then so scared of not being able to perform to that same ability next time that they shut down the challenge. They avoided it. They found reasons to not take part. You know, they said they were sick, or they really didn't want to do it, or they had to be off school. So they found ways of avoiding it because they were so scared of failing and not being able to amount to this pedestal that you'd put them on. And that's a real problem when it comes to praising characteristics. And what I mean by that is, we think we're doing a really great job in helping them to be confident and to have that self-belief and to see themselves as being these amazing children that we know they are. But what we're doing is we're praising the end result. So we might say something like, "Wow, you're so clever. You're really funny. Such a kind person." And it feels like we're being great, we're being so nice, we're being really specific, we're telling them what they're doing that's great. But you're putting the praise on the end result or the characteristics, so that child feels that they're under so much pressure to maintain that they're funny, to maintain this view that they're clever. What happens if I try and do something and I can't do it? I'm not going to be clever anymore. No, I'm not going to do it. What the research is showing now is that actually we should be supporting children with their mindset, with their whole belief system, and it should be filtering into a growth mindset and not a fixed one. So there's an American psychologist called Carol Dweck, and she did lots and lots of research on mindset, because she realized quite early on through her research that people would respond typically in one of two ways. When presented with a challenge or something someone hadn't done before, typically people would either get really excited about being able to showcase their skills or to learn something new, and they'd want the challenge, or they'd shut down and they just would not even attempt it. And she researched this and she looked into it, and she found that there were two different perspectives and belief systems, and that filtered into mindsets. And a mindset where we believe there are just certain things that we're not good at, and there's nothing we can do about that. That's how we were born. There's no point in trying. We just need to recognize that's not our skill. That's a fixed mindset, because it's fixed in the sense that it doesn't believe it can improve. A growth mindset is the opposite of that, where you believe that actually, if you want to be able to do something, if you work hard at it and you put in the time and the effort and the practice, you can get there. Of course, there are going to be elements where people are naturally slightly better at things than others physically, or their brain just works in that way. But it doesn't mean that you're never going to be good at that thing and it's not possible. So what we want to do is move children towards a growth mindset. And that's really enabling them to know that they can get to somewhere by the effort and the hard work they put in, which is all about the process. It's not about the end result. So when we're doing praise and we're really positively praising, we want to put the emphasis on the process. For example, wow, you got that maths question right. Look how hard you've been trying and the effort you've put in, and you've been able to understand that one. Or, I know you've been practicing so hard with your running to try and beat your time. That's paid off, because now you've got a really quick time because of how much you've practiced. Or, I know it's really difficult because you're not quite there yet, but if you continue practicing and putting in this effort, you can get to where you want to be. So the whole time you're praising them for how much they're trying, for the want to be better, you're not comparing them to other people, you're comparing them to themselves and to previous ability. And there are so many different aspects to growth mindset, which you can research, or have a workshop on it and you can ask me about it. But today we're talking about the positive language in terms of praise. If you can put the positive praise emphasis on the effort, you're much more likely to have a bigger impact on your child, because they're going to extrapolate that focus on practice and hard work and commitment, and they're going to put that towards everything else. So they're going to have that underlying motivation, internal motivation, and not external motivation for a reward system or out of fear, and they're going to push themselves. The idea of grit and determination, that's what you're giving your child through having a growth mindset. So I hope you found that really useful, and there are some light bulb moments there and things that maybe you can practice on yourself if you recognize that perhaps you don't have a growth mindset and you're more fixed, moving towards having a growth mindset so you can role model that effectively for your child's belief system and who they then become as a person. So look forward to seeing you next time, and thank you very much for watching.